Hi guys, I'm your girlfriend now. And by the time this video ends, you won't even recognize the man you thought you were. Because in a world that profits from your insecurities in every single way possible, I'm about to lift the veil off the 6 reasons why you're actually a lot more attractive to women than you even realize you are. And I'm not talking about the things you hear over and over again, so much that is played out like being nice or working hard. I'm talking about the signals that trigger a woman's desire for a particular kind of man, whether she even admits it or not. And if you want to go even deeper into how exactly to control this effect, how to flip the emotional power dynamic so you're the one being chased, my book, Attraction Secrets, will hand it to you in black and white. The link is in the description. Now, let's get into it. Number 1, you trigger emotion, even if it's not always positive. Most guys think attraction is 100% about being liked, but it's not. It's about being felt. Because the truth is, women ignore 95% of the men around them. They don't hate them. They don't love them. They just don't notice them at all. That's because of something called the reticular activating system, or the RA. It's the filter in her brain that blocks out anything that it doesn't see as important. And we all have this system, and most guys never even make it past that filter. But if you're the kind of man who triggers curiosity, irritation, or unexplainable obsession, that means you've crossed the threshold from being invisible to being unforgettable. If your presence gets people talking, if you've ever heard someone say, "I don't know what it is about him," you're already miles ahead of the average man because you're a polarizing figure. Have you ever heard people say it's better to be hated than to be ignored? In the context of women, that's more true than you know. Because if you're someone that people either love or love to hate, then you're the kind of guy with an identity so strong it's impossible to ignore. It's kind of like how a magnet works. You repel some people and you attract others. And it's almost impossible to do one without the other. The truth is, if you can evoke any kind of emotion from women at all, even if it's curiosity, hate, or anger, that means you stand out. It's only so long before that mixed bag of feelings for a man who's a polarizing figure turns into attraction, even if she can't explain why. Psychologically, this is what we call effect labeling. When her brain feels something it can't necessarily explain, so it keeps replaying it until it makes sense. And those mixed emotions she's feeling, that's attraction disguised as confusion. Number 2, you live a life of overcoming challenges. You ever look at a man who's never been through anything real? You can almost see it written all over his face. The soft voice, the try too hard smile, the boyish mannerisms. His whole energy screams comfort and safety. And that's not just energy, that's biology. Because over time, your body reflects the type of life that you live. Your face literally reshapes itself based on stress, struggles, and testosterone levels, and the testosterone that gets activated in response to it. If you're a man who wakes up and goes to war with something every day, it could be your past, your pain, your purpose, you better believe it shows up in how you look. And women pick up on it. That's why women tend to like scars, broken noses, and that hardened look in a man's eyes. It's primal and it's also evolutionary. When you push through adversity, the male body raises testosterone and cortisol levels to prepare the body for action and war. It's the same exact chemical process that happens in men who train with intensity. Over time, it doesn't just build muscle, it builds the masculine presence that radiates into your face, your posture, your walk, everything. That's where the sharp jawline, the intense eye contact, and the tension in their voice comes from. And even if you don't see it when you look in the mirror, she does, because women are wired to detect signals of survival. If your energy says, "I've survived," her biology responds with, "I want him." So if you've been through hell and kept going, understand this. You don't just look like a man, you feel like one. And that's what separates you from the boys. Number 3, you're the one guy that can make her laugh. This one's obvious on the surface, but the power behind it goes way deeper than most men realize. Because when a woman laughs at something you said, like really laughs, her brain isn't just having a good time. There's a lot happening there chemically. Dopamine, oxytocin, norepinephrine, endorphins. These are the chemicals her brain releases when she's physically turned on, forming some type of emotional bond, or she's starting to fall for a man. So when she laughs with you, her body can't tell the difference between attraction and amusement. That's the cheat code men have. But here's where it gets dangerous. When your humor hits the right nerve, when you time it right, deliver it with confidence, and make her feel something, that's when the halo effect kicks in. That's a psychological phenomenon where one powerful trait like humor casts a glow over everything else about you. Suddenly you seem more attractive, more capable, more trustworthy, more masculine, even if nothing else about you changes. And she doesn't even really know it's happening, because humor isn't just about jokes. It's a shortcut to showing intelligence, social intuition, and emotional control. Three extremely high-quality traits to women who subconsciously vet the men they keep around. I go very deep into the halo effect in my book, Attraction Secrets, but essentially, if you're the kind of man who can make her laugh in the middle of tension, she's already imagining how it'll be around you when the stakes are high, and that's what makes you dangerous in a good way. Because while other men are trying to look good, you made her feel good, and her body will remember that long after you leave the room. Number 4, men respect you. Women desire you. You have no idea how much weight your social capital carries with women, because a man who's respected by other men and effortlessly gets female attention isn't just likable, he's dangerous. Why? Because from a biological standpoint, women are wired to trust the choices of other women. It's called pre-selection. And it means if you've already been chosen by other women, her brain assumes there must be something about you worth chasing. You're not just some random guy in the crowd. You've already been vetted. You've already passed the unspoken test. This is why women tend to flock towards men who lead in social circles, men who have other men listening when they speak, men who don't chase approval because they already have it. That's social proof, and it's one of the biggest subconscious triggers for attraction. Think about the wedding ring phenomenon. Studies show that when a man wears a ring, women are more likely to flirt, stare longer, and initiate conversations, not because of the ring itself, but because it signals he's already been picked. And when a man is picked, her instincts tell her he must have immense value. So if you're the guy who walks in a room and commands respect from men and attention from women, you've already won the game before you even had the chance to open your mouth. Because women don't just want you, they feel like they're competing for you. Number 5, you maintain an air of mystery. If you're the kind of guy who doesn't run his mouth about every detail of his life, good, because mystery is a weapon, and you're already using it without even realizing it. Let me explain. First, most men overshare because they're desperate for validation, but the man who doesn't feel the need to explain himself automatically siles one very powerful thing. He has nothing to prove. That's a power move women don't see very often. Second, mystery forces her to fill in the blanks, and the story she builds in her head about you that will always be more exciting than anything you could have ever told her about yourself. That's how open loops work. When something doesn't have an ending, the mind fixates on it. So every time you hold back just enough, you leave her brain working overtime. Think of it like this. A perfectly timed pause hits harder than any speech because the silence builds tension and makes people lean in. You do the same exact thing when you don't reveal every single detail about yourself. You make her wonder. You make her mind work. You make her imagine. And whatever she imagines will always have more power than what she sees. That's how you control her perception of you without even having to say a word. And once that mental loop is open, the stage is already set for attraction. Number 6, women see you chase your purpose in life. Here's the truth. A lot of guys will never understand how attraction actually works because they think it's all about looks. But women aren't men. Yes, looks matter, but ultimately, that's not how we choose. Our brains scan for something much deeper. Movement, direction, drive, because we're looking for a leader. When a man is locked in on his mission, when his life has a purpose behind it, he instantly registers himself under a different category in her brain. Because now he's not just a guy, he's a builder, a future, a source of momentum that she wants to attach herself to. That's biological. For generations, women have been wired to look for the man who creates resources, not just consumes them. And even if she doesn't realize it consciously, if you're chasing something bigger than yourself, She sees it in your eyes when you talk, in your posture when you walk, and in the way you move, like your time actually matters. That's why a man on a mission doesn't need pickup lines or tricks. His focus is the game changer. And when you combine that with everything else I've laid out, you don't just become attractive, you become memorable. Because a man chasing his purpose will always be the kind of man women cannot stop watching. So, if you're the man who embodies these traits, you've already separated yourself from 99% of other men. While they're busy chasing likes, fake validation, and temporary attention, you're operating on a level they don't even know exists. Because women who are actually worth a damn are not impressed by superficial things. They're scanning for something real. And most men don't even come close to offering it. But if you do, you won't just attract her, you'll imprint yourself onto her. And if you're ready to start doing that on command, not just waiting for attraction to happen, but actually create it, my book, Attraction Secrets, hands you the blueprint. The link is in the description. So, with that being said, until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.